Hi, this is Wally. Today is the 14th of July 2016 and this is the third MCR video log. I am here today with Hungry, the wonderful camera person who does not feel like talking again. Nope, absolutely not. Alright. So today, first the disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, a dietitian, a nutritionist. I'm just someone interested in diet and the macronutrient caloric ratio and how by taking a look at it, I can find benefit in my own life, and perhaps by listening to this and taking a look at it yourself, you might find some benefit of your own. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So today what we want to do is continue the conversation from last time where we looked at the 1-to-1-to-1 macronutrient caloric ratio in nutrition bars, what to look for on those bars in order to find a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. So in order to do that, you look for equal parts carbs and proteins, and then a little bit more than half of that in fat. And that gets you very close to a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio of calories from carbs, proteins, and fats. So let's say, okay, well, you want to try to extend that macronutrient caloric ratio into dinner tonight. What is the best way for you to maintain that ratio while maximizing the nutrition and, let's say, the fiber of the foods that comprise that meal? So what foods are you going to use to make up that 1-to-1-to-1 ratio in the meal that you make for lunch or for dinner, for example? From my experience, I used to eat a lot of big turkey sandwiches, and then a couple of nuts for dessert, which would get me to that spot, that same ratio. But as time went on, I realized that the combination, the four elements that needed to be, or not necessarily needed to be, but if those four elements were in each meal that I ate, I was, in fact, maximizing nutrition and fiber per calorie. Those four elements are grains, greens, beans, and seeds. So, if you agree with me, fine. If not, send me a note and, let me know what you think. Again, this is all very speculative on my part. This is from what it works for me, but, maybe something else works for you, and I'd love to hear it. And then next time, the next video log, we can, do some listener mail, or not a listener, a watcher mail, perhaps we'll call it. Right, Hungry? She just called me an idiot. Anywho, so grains, greens, beans, and seeds. In future video logs, we'll talk about what kinds of grains, what kinds of greens, what kinds of beans, what kinds of seeds. It's all pretty much common sense, though. If you're trying to maximize fiber, you look at the nutritional panel on the sack of beans that you get, and perhaps you pick the one with the highest amount of fiber and the lowest amount of carbs per unit of weight. Try that one out. Grains, same type scenario. Which one has the most nutrition? Does a bleached white rice have more nutrition and fiber per unit of volume relative to, say, barley or quinoa or farro or, kasha, for example? The answers to those questions I think are pretty obvious, but again, that's up to you to decide. So sitting there listening to this, the next question is okay, well, I might agree with you and I might want to try it, but getting grains, greens, beans, and seeds into the meals that I eat is something that sounds wonderful, but you know, it's not all that realistic because I've got to cook it all myself, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And then, you know, if I want to adhere to that same macronutrient caloric ratio, Wally, that you've been talking about, then I've got to get the scale out and weigh everything. And you know, it's not. I just don't have the time to do it, and I don't really think I, you know, have the knowledge to, or maybe you do have the knowledge, you just don't feel like dealing with it. Wobble for balance. That's right. Hungry. The meals that I create, all three of the wobbles adhere to the 1-to-1-to-1 ratio, while including grains, greens, beans, and seeds. All three of them do. So there is your answer, and that was a horrible plug for my product, but a turnkey solution for people that don't want to deal with it themselves. And if you're fortunate enough on this day to live in the Pennington area in Mercer County, or across the bridge in Pennsylvania, you can find them at the Pennington Quality Market. Or, you know, try making them yourself. It doesn't take that long. Make it in quantity. You know, everything freezes well. So that's all I got for today. Grains, greens, beans, and seeds in every meal is what I try to do. And I think that I'm probably successful about 90% of the time. It might not be realistic for some, but what we're trying to do at Wobble, again, at risk of plugging my product, is to, for the, you know, when you don't have the time to do it yourself, you can run to the grocery store if you're local, into the Pennington Market, grab one of or all of the flavors and meal options rather, and you'll have it all figured out for you. Low calorie, high nutrition, high fiber meals. And with that, until next time, thanks.